Hi, I'm Mike Jones, back with some more tips on getting a FedEx Ground contract. I'm a 34-year veteran of FedEx Ground. Actually, I started before it was FedEx Ground with a company that was called RPS, which was later bought by FedEx, and they changed the name to FedEx Ground. I started in 1987 and I retired in 2020, or I sold my company in 2020. So you do the math, that's 34 years. And I sold those companies, and I say companies, plural, because my wife and I had multiple contracts. The number one thing I want to start with is don't always rely on going through a broker. Brokers are going to get their fee, which is going to be a substantial fee for selling the routes that you're looking at, because the existing contractor is their customer and they're going to have the price up there so they can make a good lick and the contractor can make good money. Now, these contracts are expensive nowadays, so don't think that you're going to be able to go in and get one at rock bottom price. Although there are some, if a person is in distress somewhat, that might sell it a little bit less, but the marketplace right now is pretty good. Actually, I probably could make more money today in today's market just a year later than I could last year if I were trying to sell, because the price of routes have gone up. But that being said, don't always rely on just going through a broker. Next, do your due diligence on whatever contractor that you're going to be trying to buy out. I get phone calls, texts, and emails all the time asking me if I think this is a good deal or that's a good deal. Not all routes are equal in performance. Line haul routes will vary in mileage. Line haul routes will also vary in consistency, and this is a very important issue. A dedicated route will be worth a lot more and is more consistent than a route that's running wild on the extra board. Also, dedicated routes will not have the downtime that the extra board runs have. With a dedicated route, you go to a specific location where they may call it a meet point, or you may go into a terminal. And generally speaking, you'll have very little downtime before you continue back to your original location or your domicile. With an extra board run, you could get to a terminal and have to sit 24 hours before you get anything else to return. And that's time that you do not get paid for. Your driver does not get paid for it. You don't get paid for it. Your truck is not making any money. Downtime is costly because it ties up your equipment, manpower, and making you zero money while you're sitting still. Remember, if those wheels aren't turning, you aren't making any money whatsoever. So these are important things you must realize while you're analyzing routes that you may want to purchase. Where should you go to look for routes? Number one, you should check out buildagroundbiz.com. This is the official FedEx Ground website that they post the new runs that they're making available. On this site, it also tells you how to become a FedEx contractor. Study these documents and fill it out and see if FedEx will contact you. I have heard from numerous people that they don't get a reply. So, this may be true. I personally have never had to go through this process, so I can only tell you what I'm hearing in the background, that it is tough to get information back from FedEx at this point. But I would still try to do this if all possible, because this is the cheapest way of doing this. Number two, answer some ads from brokers. But remember, they are working for the contractor, not for you. You are a potential lead or buyer for his customer, so don't get swept up in the sales pitch. This is the easiest process to become a contractor, but in no way is it the cheapest. Number three, if you decide to purchase an existing contract, this is where you'll have to do your due diligence to the max. Ask all the pertinent questions. How long has this person owned this contract? Some people are just buying in quickly and selling out quickly just to make a fast buck. Don't get caught up in this type of sale. Try not to buy from someone that has not put at least a minimum, in my opinion, 5 years into the business. The horror stories that I have seen personally with the inexperienced person that buys what he thinks is a well-established business only to find out too little and too late that the routes were not consistent as they were led to believe. Number 4, I can't stress this enough. Dedicated routes are way more valuable than the extra board routes. Don't get caught up in the numbers of how much routes make if they are not guaranteed dedicated routes. Dedicated routes have way more value than the extra board routes.